Former Middlesbrough player with the throw. This is Jimmy Phillips. Touched on by Falconer. First chance for Wright to stretch his legs, but an easy catch from Mark Crossley. Hendrie. Dealt with by Tyler. This is Williams. Woan. Gemmill. Ball won well by Morris. This is Phillips. Allowed to go a long way here, Jimmy Phillips. Not quite able to make the most of it. Crossley held on. But Jimmy Phillips, well, the wave just parted for him. The two dads. It's found its way through the Falconer and to Wilkinson, and now to Fleming. Although I tell you that Curtis Fleming has never scored for Middlesbrough, it'll give you some insight into the finish, which was hurried, to say the least. The build-up was very considered. Found a way through, but the flag has already been waved and a whistle blown, and Middlesbrough have a free kick. Tommy Wright wondering why they weren't allowed an advantage. Paul Wilkinson's the man down. Paul Wilkinson hasn't missed a single game since signing for Middlesbrough. He's had a few stitches inserted in that time. He's in there with Falconer, who got to the ball. Forced a save from Crossley. Willie Falconer, who's scored in both of Middlesbrough's FA Cup ties so far this season. And Pollock's free kick was hung up beautifully for him. Laws. Keane looking to make progress down the touchline, interrupted by Morris. Williams ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac there, Brett Williams. Not Forest way really to run with the ball. Chettle, caught in two minds, but he got away with it. Strong enough to see off Hendrie. Now Woan with Keane in space to his right, and Clough and Bannister in support. Woan joining them. This is Roy Keane. Fleming's clearance, might fall for Clough, might fall for Bannister. 1-0. Just walked it in. It's coming the 22nd minute. Nottingham Forest in front for the first time in the tie. And Gary Bannister, their leading scorer this season, and that's a surprise, knocks in number 9 of the season. They had a good break here. Roy Keane just couldn't quite make the progress that it intended. But the ball was deflected, I think, off Fleming and Keane and Falconer, and Clough nudged it on, and Bannister just out for an evening stroll with the ball at his feet. Wilkinson. On by Hendrie. Wilkinson to Wright. Falconer's calling for it beyond the far post. Here he is! Good save by Crossley. He was moving across his goal at a fair rate of knots there, the Forest keeper. And he just managed to intercept. A dangerous effort from Willie Falconer. Good keeping. He's had his critics, but he's got his fans where it matters on the bench at Nottingham Forest. Phillips looking for Fleming and finding him. Falconer. Yeah, it's by Bannister. Bannister. Run back by Phillips. Webb though. Clough. Keane. Only Woan ahead of him for the moment. Strong work by Jimmy Phillips. Captain's contribution. There goes John Hendrie. Can't afford to show him the inside. He'll have a go. This is the fellow who popped in a hat-trick in 15 minutes against Blackburn Rovers earlier in the season. And really it is a risk to invite him to shoot because he packs a real shot. And he was going away from Laws and he only ever had one thing on his mind. One from Chettle. Wilkinson, blocked by Tyler. Crossley holding off Nigel Clough unfairly. Ball just held up in the wind. Morris just held Clough up. Webb. Headed by Mohan. Only for Clough. Ian Woan. A bit isolated on that left-hand side. Keane though. Into Scott Gemmill. Pull back to Nigel Clough, brilliant save, but he won't keep out the second effort. Forest have scored twice inside of 10 minutes. And Middlesbrough have got an awful lot to do to stay in the cup. Nigel Clough's first goal since Christmas, scored at the second attempt, despite the excellence of Stephen Pears, the goalkeeper in front of him. It was hard on the goalkeeper, but it was a reward for Clough's persistence and for Nottingham Forest's passing ability. Lennie Lawrence down on the bench, never once successful as a manager against a Brian Clough team in 10 attempts. Nice stuff. We've got a late one there, Nigel Clough. Laws, Gemmill, it's gone away from Falconer, good advantage play. Bannister and Woan in support. Here's Gary Bannister. Had a bit more pace on it than Pears first thought, but it wasn't the finish that the move deserved. Here's Williams. Chettle. But Middlesbrough have an all-too-familiar story to tell against Nottingham Forest. They've had pressure and they've had possession, and they've had 2 goals popped against them. First, a hint of fortune in the build-up, but beautifully finished by Gary Bannister. And the second knocked in by Nigel Clough. An archetypal Nottingham Forest goal, beautifully constructed. 2-0 at the break. Nottingham Forest have the benefit of a stiff breeze at their backs in this second half. And all the signs are at the moment that in the second half of the season we may see them pick up a fairer wind, sail up the table, and who knows, all the way back to Wembley. Been there often enough in recent seasons. Wilkinson though finding Falconer, who's offside. Crossley's save was a very good one, but it didn't matter. Flag was already raised. He's looked as likely as anybody for Middlesbrough, Willie Falconer. But Mark Crossley's had a good night so far. Wilkinson inevitably the provider, but the linesman had already intervened. Held up by Wright in a defending position. A fresh air shot then, Tommy Wright. And Brian Laws is unable to make anything of the loose ball. Webb. And this time the throw's gone Middlesbrough's way. Wilkinson. Oh, he was caught late there by Tyler. That was a painful one. Oh, and Andy Peake is incensed. Just about the most experienced man in the Middlesbrough side, and he had time there to calm down, but his temper was running high. And he thought it was a bit of a cheap shot, that, by Tyler at Wilkinson. Yellow card. Slow motion tends to accentuate the lateness of the challenge, but the ball was well gone, and it was a really sore one. Slaven. Hendrie. Deflected cross. Knocked away though by Tyler. Gemmill on the break. Woan making a run down the centre of the field. Making the space for Bannister, but Fleming was able to atone for his earlier error. Clough was in acres of space on the near side. Phillips, Falconer, Fleming. Tyler got his head to it. It's come for Willie Falconer, and it just wouldn't sit down for him. It was always at that awkward waist height. And Willie Falconer, who's found himself in some good goal-scoring positions tonight, nothing quite compared with that one. But he just couldn't get it under control. Tyler let it bounce, but he's fouled by Wilkinson. He looks like he might be a manager one day. Right by Williams. Slaven. Fleming really was in a better position to provide a better cross. Bannister, Webb. Woe just made a great break and he's onside. He was held by Fleming, but he shrugged him off. He's got Clough in support. Didn't really need him, did he? Some finish by Ian Woan, and I dare say that has finished Middlesbrough off once and for all. It's his first ever goal in the FA Cup, and it should be enough to put Nottingham Forest in the 5th round of the FA Cup. He'd have got a real ear bashing from Nigel Clough if it hadn't have got in, because Clough was in a great position, but it did go in, and some. Beautifully timed run. Held off the defender who was trying to foul him, and picked his spot and got everything behind it. Celebrates 40 years in the game this spring. He signed for Middlesbrough in May 1953. On for Wright. Laws has got wise to that trick and had already set off. Another 15 minutes remaining. Middlesbrough just can't get started. Phillips in towards Wilkinson, now they might! That's the clearest chance he's had. It's the worst moment of a good night for Mark Crossley, and the most frustrating moment of a really industrious night for Paul Wilkinson. who won't need me to tell him that he should have hit the target. Clough. Keane supporting it well again. Here he goes. Falconer has held him back. It's a free kick, and it could be really bad news for Willie Falconer. Typical Roy Keane. Not just the energy that he shows, but the timing. Falconer's got away with the challenge. It'll be Nigel Clough. Wasn't far away. A rueful grin. But it just swung away from the target. Well, it's come through to Wilkinson, and still Crossley keeps him out. Straight face from Mark Crossley. Poor Wilkinson can't help but show a night full of frustrations, summed up in that one moment. Calmly done by Laws. And there's been a relaxed calm about Nottingham Forest in the latter stages, and always this precision passing. Woan to Clough. And every year we wonder whether it might be his dad's year in the FA Cup. He's getting sick of the sound of all that talk, I know, but 3 semis in the last 5 seasons, 1 final. And they've been impressive again tonight. Every day, in every way, it's getting better for Nottingham Forest. It's been a typical ambush of a performance from